Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Do not expect any sympathy from these guys because...
That word should be taken out of the dictionary. Sympathy.
No sympathy whatsoever when it comes to modern day managers complaining about the run of games that they're having. I'm going to come grab the questions, or do you want to get them?
He's far too tired. Leave him alone.
All right, we're going to do... All right, yeah, he's fair enough.
You stay there. Hey, stay there.
I'm fatigued.
Stay there.
Do you want me to go?
Yesterday, this
Kate,
is
do you want me to go?
Yeah, but
Frank, you'd probably be faster than these two.
No, I can't. I don't know. They're very
Where
tired.
are you, Frank?
And I can go.
Yeah, you stay. I'll get.
No, you know what? I
just-
can get
you
the
stay
questions
there.
for you.
No.
I can get the questions for you. I can get the questions for you.
Well, Stevie,
want to.
Oh, Stevie, wow.
Frank's in a theatre.
Speedy.
Oh, tell you what, I think I did.
I'm in the
I just did
theater.
me
okay?
You're in the
I'm in
theatre.
I'm in Nice.
She's in Nice.
I'm in Nice in the theater. We say Nice. We
Tell me,
don't
I'm
say
sorry,
nice.
yeah.
Just for Anglophones.
But you're having a
I'm
nice
in Nice.
time.
I just finished the
On
play.
his own, he is. Yeah,
Oh yes, we had just a full pack crowd today, laughing, and we had a standing ovation. So it was great, great evening.
Oh.
He's just on his hamstring getting the question.
She thinks you remember
Well,
James?
it's accumulation, isn't it, of doing all the shows and all that. That's
She thinks we're
fatigue.
she thinks we're the waiters. Do you mind getting the questions for me?
Peel me a grape.
Jeeves. Hey. Why don't I bring some wine back for you as well? Some vino.
Aye. First question. Craig.
No, I'm too tired.
Oh, I like this though. It actually matches perfectly for what it's going to say. Don once called you a generational moaner when played at wing-back instead of midfield for Scotland. With the way full-backs and wing-backs are used today, like Cancelo or a Hakimi, would you enjoy playing the position more?
What do you mean? They don't play wing back. Play full back. Who is it? What's the question? They play.
So if you were going to complain about having to play at full-back with the way that the position...
I was playing wing back.
Okay, with the way that the position has evolved now, though, would you not have moaned as much if you had to do it today?
Yes.
what's it?
No, yes, the answer I would have moaned as much. Well, if you're playing wing back, right, I don't want to get into the
Yes.
Hold on
semantics.
a second.
moaned
Hold on a
as
second. How has this position changed? It hasn't changed a jot. When you play wing back, right? When you're going forward, you've got to get yourself forward. And you know when the ball's going the other way, you've got to get yourself back. It was the same when he played, and the same when they do today.
Do you not think it's seen as a more glamorous position now?
Now you're talking about just as a full back. Now the defensive aspect of the game for a lot of players is sort of diminished. For some it hasn't. I mean, like Kyle Walker, for example. Kyle Walker is a player that enjoys both sides of the game, primarily because he's got lots of pace. There are others out there, and then there are some maybe like an easy one to look at would be Alexander Arnold, who kind of the defensive is almost like a secondary aspect for him, and he struggles with it. The wing-back position would never change because you've not got a full-back behind you and you haven't got a winger in front of you. So you've got to do a little bit of everything in that position. You've got to be getting up to getting some crosses in, you've got to be tucking in a little bit, and if you've got a big, slow, lazy centre-half behind you, he's not coming out to the wing full-back position, so you've got to chase all the way back. And I know that for a fact because I had 3 of those playing at the back for Scotland. So the answer is I would have moaned my backside off still, and I did.
It's the same job.
Even at the World Cup, when I started at the World Cup in the wing-back role, and I moaned my way through it until he eventually moved me into the middle of the park.
So it's
And
like
then I got sent off.
So you know what he's talking. So he's talking about 3 big square-head defenders, right?
Yeah.
That don't like to go out in the wide, and they don't like to go out in the wide positions because they get exposed, right? So when you've played all your career in the middle of the park and you're used to certain areas, all of a sudden, because there's injuries or whatever, the manager moves you to that wide area where you have to do that and that. You're basically doing what, 60-yard runs all the time. It's a complete and utter. It's the opposite of what you've been doing. When you play in the middle, you're doing shorter, sharper runs. When you go on the wide area, you're doing big, long runs. So to ask somebody who's played their whole career in the middle to all of a sudden stick them in the wide area and have to do that, it's a nightmare.
You're going to moan. They used to call it, this spent way too long on the wing back. We used to call it the graveyard shift. For very good reason, because it was the worst shift on the field. And I used to try my best to get out of this. I used to try and play bad. That never worked. And then I used to say to Brownie, who's no longer with us, the manager, I say, listen, you've got better people that can... there's people better at this than me playing that position. And he's still playing me there.
I'm interested in how you make yourself play bad. What do you do?
Well, that's easy. No, I didn't make myself play bad. It might just have looked that way. But I used to say to him, I did used to say to him, listen, you got better people that can play this more natural than me, but he wouldn't have it. I didn't play there all my 46 caps, but I played there a big chunk of it. Oh, I hated it.
So anyway, you would have moaned whatever.
Listen,
now,
I would
yesterday,
have moaned put me in the
20
middle
years
of the
ago.
park.
All right, for all...
Generational moaner.
Generational moaner, I like that.
I'm quite happy with that.
For all, and I'll start with you, Frank, where do you think Havertz could be most effective for Arsenal?
On the bench.
Giving massages, because then you don't have to queue up.
maybe right now on the bench to not disturb the others. I would say it's why I'm laughing at it. But it's hard. It's really hard to say because really, and we talked about that during the almost at the preseason when we knew that he signed. His positioning is going to affect the rest of the midfielders because they are unbalanced because of him and Odegaard playing almost in the same line. And what made Arsenal very strong last season is because Odegaard was on his own trying to create the game where the others were working for him. So maybe playing on the left side, but when you have Trossard and Martinelli, I don't see any room for him. It's why I think from Arteta that was a real mistake to hire Havertz because I don't find any position, a good position for him.
He might get some game time this weekend, though.
Because of the injuries.
Because of that, but I think longer term with those two in particular, a bit of a struggle.
Predictions for Spurs-Liverpool. You're actually all divided on this. You've got Liverpool winning.
Yeah.
Because?
Well, because their two main players, Maddison and Son, aren't 100% fit. And after the two of them, I'm not sure where the goals are coming from. If you look at Liverpool, on the other hand, they've got way more players who are capable of putting the ball in the net. Plus, I think they're going to squeeze Spurs. I think no question they'll squeeze them. Because if you watched Arsenal last week, what they did to Spurs, that's the way to get at them. That's the way to put them under pressure. And if Liverpool get the opportunities that Arsenal did in that first half, then they'll score goals.
You're going for the draw?
I've gone for the Desmond. Yeah, I've gone for a draw. I was hedging my bets towards Liverpool. I think a few of the guys were as well. But I don't know. Tottenham just riding a bit of a wave at the moment. They're going to give chances up. We know that. They'll continue to take chances at the back and play out. But Liverpool still a little suspect at their back end as well. So that's why I've gone for a 2-2.
And Frank, have you changed your mind on Spurs winning?
No, even if I suppose that Son and Maddison won't be at 100%, you know, I feel that Tottenham drawing against Arsenal and having full of confidence in front of their fans, playing at home could be a plus. And don't forget that Liverpool conceded goals in the beginning of games, like 4 times before coming back. It allows me to think that maybe Tottenham will give the good reason at the beginning. The defense of Liverpool is not the best one right now. So if Tottenham can score goals very quickly, they can really put in danger Liverpool, because when Liverpool going to go out, they can be smashed in a counter-attack. So it's why I go for that open game. And I don't know if I have a good prediction, but what I see, lots of goals.
For Frank, based on recent analysis by Opta, if you look at stats like XG, Chelsea should be 4th. Do you think it's only a matter of time before that translates to results?
The problem is I don't know what XG. I saw that. I don't know what XG is. You know, is that expected goals? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, I was told that you can expect goals, but as long as you don't score them, you don't have anything. So I plan on many things expected in my life that I didn't get. I'm only go for the thing that I'm sure about. Not for that thing that I can expect in my life.
Okay, take out the XG part. Do you think it's only a matter of time before we start to see them getting results?
Well, I wanna think that because of Nkunku coming back, maybe Nicolas Jackson scoring the goal midweek, that can give maybe a little bit more confidence to Chelsea. And we were teasing about the fact that Haaland has scored more goals than Chelsea right now. Hopefully Chelsea is going to start scoring goals and more goals than Haaland at the end of the season. So I want to be confident. I've got, of course, question marks about the fact that Chelsea again this season is going to struggle scoring goals. But again, I'm expecting I'm thinking that Nkunku coming back, things can change. Hopefully,
do you want to say anything here?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any silverware or money handed out for the Opta times G table. I get all that. XG tells you when you're how many chances and how good the chances are or should have been and blah blah blah. But it's not played. It's not played on a stats computer. Right? It's played on grass, played on a field with humans who make mistakes, who may be tired, who may be lacking confidence, or who may just be poor finishers. So, it's all very well saying trotting out this times G all the time, as quite a few people do. I remember this guy got very upset. It was a few years ago now when I lambasted this particular stat on one occasion, and some complete lemon got so upset about it, he emailed my boss and demanded my removal. Such is the childish nature of plums like this.
Surely he's not the only one.
Oh yeah, and my boss was very good. He said,
I'm surprised there's only one.
He actually says, well, yeah, that's fine, but I'll need to go down this long list first. So, yeah. I mean, we all don't mind stats, but sometimes.
I mean, Stevie's partial to a stat.
Yeah, big
Now and again.
Now and again. When it
Sure.
suits.
When it
They're good
suits.
when it suits.
Facts.
Imagine getting upset.
Aye.
Imagine
Okay.
sitting in your house getting upset because somebody's had a pop at a stat.
Maybe you just have that effect on people, Craig.
Imagine sitting there. Imagine you've got such little going on in your life that you get annoyed that somebody's having a pop at a stat, right? Stats are fine, but our job we don't do just with stats. We don't just sit here and have a table full of stats and go, well, this is how the weekend's going to go. I'm getting upset now. There's some people who absolutely know nothing about this game, right? They sit there in a bath of stats and try and trot out X, Y, and Z, right? Pulling the wool over some idiotic eyes. That annoys the hell out of me.
The generational moaner, Craig Burley.
I mean, I get
He's
all
not
that
wrong.
game's played.
Stevie, do Arsenal have a better chance of winning the Champions League than the Premier League?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they'll win the Premier League. I would think they've got a way better chance of winning the knockout competition than a competition that's played over 9 months. Because there is 100% a better team in that tournament,
Right.
and possibly a couple of others that are on par with you. So yeah, I think you've got a better chance of winning a cup competition than you have of winning the Premier League when City's in it.
It's a bit like the Carabao Cup, isn't it, with City out now. It's just such a potentially open field for some of these other big boys, or a one of the smaller teams to make a run. If the Liverpools and the Arsenals and the Man Uniteds decide to leave and play a really weak side, now that City, not that City are unbeatable, but if their eye is on the ball and they play a strong side, it's unlikely that they're going to lose, particularly over a 38-game period.
Did you say no, Frank, when I asked that question?
Yeah, I would say no in both, because I think City is stronger than anybody else. So I don't see Arsenal winning or any other team winning the Premier League but Manchester City. And that's going to be the same for the Champions League. I don't see Arsenal with the player that they are right now being able to win the Champions League, comparing to, again, Manchester City, and the fact that last season they won. So they broke something, and it was kind of a christening for them. So now they're going to keep on winning because they are the best team in the world. That's what it is. We are trying to find who can still compete with Manchester City in the Champions League, Bayern maybe Real Madrid. That's it. But nobody had thought about Arsenal being able to win the Champions League. Remember where Arsenal were like 2 years ago. They had a very good season last season, but there are still question marks about what they're going to achieve this season. They have to prove that they're back to where they are, meaning the best, but they're not at the best of the best. City are already there.
But the question is, where do they have a better chance of winning the Champions League or winning the Premier League?
Well, the Premier League, no, for sure. And let's say that Manchester City loses against another team, against Bayern Munich in semi-final. Therefore, I would say yes, Arsenal has a bigger chance to win.
All right. Well,
the Champions League.
We can't keep them. We got there in the end. We can't keep these guys too long because, it's getting late, getting tired. Stevie's done his hamstring, having to get the questions for me, being such a diva and demanding. But thanks so much for sending your questions in. Thanks for being with us. Make sure to be with us all weekend because there's going to be a lot to talk about.